Stop what you're doing because what you're about to hear isn't just another celebrity getting jailed. It's a major, headline-grabbing catastrophe that has the internet going crazy. Jim Jones, the seasoned Harlem rapper renowned for, has been arrested once more for both chart-topping tunes and courtroom drama. And the stakes are higher than ever this time. After surviving numerous encounters with the law, how does a man end up in an even more dire situation? What specifically transpired in Georgia to transform a normal car ride into a police flurry? And was there anyone else working behind the scenes, such as friends, colleagues, or someone else? No one anticipated it. Speculation is already rife on social media as reports and rumors start to surface. Could this arrest be the one that ultimately puts an end to his career? Or is this just one more chapter in Jim Jones' convoluted story of wealth, celebrity, and legal troubles? Get ready as we're going to dissect every astounding, every unexpected turn, every detail, and every question you didn't even realize you needed to know the answers to. Then believe me, this is a tale you won't want to miss. Jim Jones is no stranger. This most recent arrest has the kind of shock value that causes both supporters and detractors to put down their phones and gaze at the screen in shock. The rapper, whose career has been based on music for decades, was born in Harlem. Credibility on the street and a reasonable amount of he's currently at the center of a tempest that could overshadow everything he's ever done. In Georgia, it all began early Thursday when cops allegedly stopped a car. Jones was the passenger in the backseat of that vehicle, after what appeared to be a regular traffic check swiftly turned into a heated pursuit. Law enforcement was left reeling, and social media was ablaze with conjecture. By the time the vehicle stopped, investigators reportedly found a number of damning documents that read like a guide on how to travel illegally. Checklist: oxycodone, Percocet, vape cartridges, THC oil, 2 loaded weapons, perhaps stolen marijuana, and a sizable sum of money. This was not a simple mistake. The internet was the perfect venue for this attention-grabbing disaster. For anyone who have been following Jones' path, this arrest is not only a singular episode. From Harlem to Hollywood, he has been involved in a string of legal entanglements. Arrests in the past have included everything from high-speed chases in Georgia to wild fights at casinos, with probation, fines, or legal loopholes that most of us could only imagine taking advantage of. Jones always finds a way to get past the system, but each of these encounters has helped to shape the public's opinion of him as a man who teeters perilously on the brink of fame, crime, and mystery. Supporters and for years, detractors have wondered if his charm and legal knowledge would be sufficient to keep him ahead of the law. However, as these fresh charges mount, the question isn't only will it be okay for him. How seriously could this ruin the enterprise he had built for decades? Unnamed sources are whispering, adding fuel to the fire. According to someone who was allegedly close to Jones' inner circle, this arrest wasn't as arbitrary as it seemed. Law enforcement may have been following him for weeks, according to some insiders, waiting for the ideal opportunity to take action, perhaps for months. Someone close to him may have tipped off authorities or allowed a situation to worsen, according to others who alluded to conflict inside his own team, so that he would be caught in a precarious situation. This arrest's potential to be both planned and chaotic at the same time is a perfect fit for the story of Jones, a guy whose life seems to live in perpetual equilibrium between calculated actions and uncontrollable chaos. Reactions from the public have been rapid and intense, utilizing comments on social media conjecturing about anything from possible jail time to missing studio sessions, canceled tours, and the future of his business endeavors. He's been defended by several fans who say he's being unfair, targeted, while others show a mixture of astonishment and schadenfreude, as though they are anticipating the collapse. As if the story couldn't get any more interesting, Jones might not have been alone, according to some reports. Law enforcement sources suggest that other passengers in the vehicle may be charged. However, specifics are still unclear, leaving his network of friends, associates, and partners vulnerable to possible transactions, flips, or internal strife. This arrest's repercussions aren't only applicable in the legal field, they affect public perception, music, and economics, endangering collaborations, sponsorships, and even his live performance rights. For a man who has meticulously cultivated his brand over decades, the stakes are quite high. This most recent bombshell was just starting to be processed by the world. The full scope of the crisis began to become apparent as new details surfaced. Why is this the case? Arrest feels more significant, heavier, and different than any other time. As more information becomes available, the plot takes a turn that nobody anticipated. The picture of Jim Jones's incident is getting more volatile and messy. Anonymous people with knowledge of the case claim that the items in the car weren't the only reason for this arrest. It was a component of a purported network of links, hazardous conduct and dubious associates that have Jones in danger of facing severe legal repercussions. According to eyewitnesses, or those claiming to be insiders, there have been private contacts, extravagant spending sprees, and late-night meetings that sometimes at best careless, and at worst criminally negligent, although the complete records are still pending formal publication. Online leaks suggest extravagant expenditures, cash transfers, and actions that might cause prosecutors to become even more combative. The responses on social media have been nothing short of explosive. Incredulous fans flocked to the platforms. Critics, however, did not waste any time in analyzing every aspect. Another arrest he never finds out about. According to one response, expressing the surprise and displeasure of longtime outsiders, others conjectured that there had been internal treachery. Was there a member of his crew who might have given law enforcement information, or worse, left evidence behind? Fan pages and forums are a flurry of memes, speculations, and excerpts from previous interviews. Every action he makes is being examined by everyone like a live crime play. Even informally, spectators are analyzing the allegations, discussing if they are too serious to avoid this time or whether Jones would somehow evade them again, as history indicates. Concurrently, the purported investigative the picture is considerably more bleak. Authorities are investigating bank trails, comparing transactions, and speaking with several witnesses. According to sources, in order to put together how Jones might have been participating in more extensive criminal behavior, the storyline that has surfaced from these leaks raises concerns about whether Jones' entourage and business operations may have been participating in increasing his legal risk, whether intentionally or inadvertently. His team may be at odds, according to unnamed insiders, and there have been rumors of hostility and betrayals that have only heightened the drama. A public display. The atmosphere of suspense created by the analysis of every new detail and the amplification of every rumor makes it almost hard for anyone to turn away. The craze isn't just being fueled by internet discussion, either. Peers in the sector and public figures are also contributing. Some with caution, some with keen criticism. Record labels and collaborators are reportedly keeping a tight eye on Jones, determining whether keeping up their association with him poses a risk to their own standing. Some are apparently thinking about how to profit from the scandal in the future, while others have supposedly put a stop to projects or postponed partnerships until the situation is more clear. Music videos, advertising initiatives, and forthcoming releases. Every new revelation that starts a new discussion about responsibility and celebrity causes the damage to spread swiftly. Conduct, as well as the boundaries of celebrity when facing legal implications. Furthermore, the human factor becomes indispensable as we go farther. Fans, relatives, and friends are caught in the crossfire, attempting to distinguish between rumors and the truth. Jim Jones's story as a shrewd survivor, a dynamic street tactician, and the story of a guy whose actions are endangering him and perhaps everyone around him is directly at odds with that of a cultural icon. Every anonymous tip, every report that has been disclosed, each viral clip heightens the suspense. Kay is crafting a narrative that balances elements of courtroom drama, controversy, and prudence. The query that everyone has the question now is not just what happened, but also how far this will go and who else might be pulled into the tidal wave. And just when the public appears to have comprehended the scope of the disclosures and responses, no, the repercussions begin to materialize in ways that have the potential to upend not just Jones' career but also the entire web of professional and interpersonal connections he has worked so hard to establish over the years. Many years, Jim Jones' most recent arrest has already caused a stir in the music industry, social and professional circles, and it's turning out to be more dramatic than anyone had expected. Legal teams are reportedly rushing not only to find Jones but also to find individuals who may have been involved in the case purposefully or unintentionally. According to sources, industry insiders murmur about possible courtroom tactics, switched witnesses, and plea agreements that might either save him or permanently ruin him. It seems that law enforcement is committed on setting an example this time. The allegations now carry the weight of major felony convictions, and the repercussions could completely change Jones' career. Unlike previous instances where he was able to get away with lesser fines or probation, all brand partners, publicists, and attorneys are keeping a tight eye on things, assessing risk, and making real-time adjustments to plans. The effects on finances are being sensed already. Scheduled collaborations, studio sessions, and concerts may be put on hold indefinitely, according to reports, while sponsorships and partnerships are being reviewed. According to certain quarters, the arrest is a professional earthquake that might disrupt long-standing agreements and postpone music releases, impacting sources of income that Jones has endured years of reliance. In addition to the financial consequences, the struggle for public opinion is intensifying. Supporters are split. While some people are supporting him and saying he is being unfairly singled out, others are disappointed and saying his recurring legal issues reflect poorly on his influence and judgment. The narrative is still being molded in the fight that has become every social media post, viral video, and comment section. In the interim, the anticipation has been heightened by rumors of government probes and wider repercussions. Financial data are being secretly examined by federal officials, according to some insiders, considering prior legal issues to determine whether there is a more widespread pattern of illegal activity. On the internet, fictitious stories suggest possible investigations into previous transactions that raise doubts about if this just making an arrest is the first step in a longer inquiry. Rumor has it that the legal proceedings are being accompanied by resignations, delays, and internal turmoil, indicating that the effects of this arrest can have an impact on entire teams, co-conspirators, and even opposing factions. Within Jones' own circle, there are rumors of betrayal, which add to the drama. There are reports of an insider turning in exchange for leniency can significantly impact the case's course. When the dust settles, one thing turns into crystal. Is that clear? Jim Jones's legal issues are no longer merely private. All right, they have practical repercussions and constitute a public spectacle. Every step is being seen by the entire world. Every choice now has consequences, whether they are related to financial recalibrations, social media backlash, or judicial tactics. Peers, critics, and fans are all making assumptions. Will he come out as largely unharmed as he has in the past? Or is now the pivotal moment that ends the trend of arrests that make headlines at last? Every day that goes by increases the likelihood of shocks, leaks, and startling disclosures, and the stress is evident. Astronomically, Jim Jones's future is still up in the air. The story is far from over, though, that much is clear. This arrest, the accusations, headlines will continue to be dominated by the drama, conjecture, and high stakes that have been produced by the repercussions and the public's response, and in typical viral manner, the question still occupies everyone's thoughts. How will this story conclude? Who else could receive stuck in the middle as the lawful, financial, and individual repercussions develop? The solutions are on the way, and they appear to be equally as explosive as the self-arrest. How do you feel? Did Jim Jones defeat these accusations, or is this the autumn that we have all been anticipating? Post your opinions in the comments section and let the argument blow out. Keep in mind to like, follow, and click the alert bell for each frightening update while this story develops.